You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Making a movie is a luxury. It's a gift. It's an opportunity, and most importantly, it's a gift. Obviously, everybody here is talented enough to do that, but don't get it twisted. It's just a movie. It ain't that big a deal.
And Denzel went ham on my... He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, listen, this is my show.
At 70, Denzel Washington finally reveals the celebs he hates more than anyone. From feuds with Hollywood giants like Quentin Tarantino.
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Quentin, what's the problem with you? What's wrong with you? Why have you not ever written a film for Denzel?
I haven't been that lucky.
To Ellen Pompeo's subtle...
And Denzel went ham on my... He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, listen, this is my show. This is my set. Who are you telling?
Denzel's enemies list reads like a who's who of Hollywood elite. But the real question isn't who he hates. It's why a man known for his class and dignity has burned so many bridges. What dark secrets is Hollywood's golden boy hiding? Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the fiery clash between Denzel Washington and Ellen Pompeo. Ellen, who's been the face of Grey's Anatomy for years, surprised fans when she opened up about a tense moment with Denzel. Back in 2016, Denzel stepped in to direct an episode of the show. While fans were excited to see his name in the credits, things behind the scenes weren't so smooth. On her Tell Me podcast, Ellen spilled the tea. She said that during a scene where her character was supposed to apologize, she decided to ad-lib a line saying, "Look at me when you apologize. Look at me." That wasn't in the script, and apparently it didn't go over well with Denzel.
And Denzel went ham on my... He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, listen, this is my show. This is my set. Who are you telling?
As if that wasn't enough, Ellen decided to escalate the situation by bringing Denzel's wife into the drama. When Denzel's wife visited the set, Ellen recounted, "I told his wife that he yelled at me today, and I'm not okay with him, and I'm not looking at him, and I'm not talking to him." Fans were stunned by her candor, and many criticized her for overstepping boundaries. What made matters worse was Ellen's critique of Denzel's directing skills. On the podcast, she commented, "Denzel's a movie star, right? He doesn't know directing TV." Although she acknowledged his charisma, saying, "Denzel has it in spades for sure," her remarks came off as dismissive and entitled. The backlash online was immediate and intense, but this wasn't the first time Ellen faced criticism for questionable behavior. In 2016, she was called out for using dark-skinned emojis despite being white. At the time, Pompeo had posted about A&E's documentary about the Ku Klux Klan. She was happy that the network changed the title, and she expressed her enthusiasm with a black clapping emoji as well as a black thumbs-up emoji. When confronted, Ellen noted that she's married to a black man and has 2 biracial children, a fairly dismissive comment that suggests her association with black people means she gets it. You do realize being married to a black man and having black children can make you a target from racist white people, right? That's a thing," she tweeted. "Yeah, that's most definitely a thing, and you know what else is a thing? White people getting defensive when black people try to talk to them about race and their experiences with racism." She eventually apologized for those she offended, saying, "I'm so sad that people attacked me over standing up for equality. I'm sad that people chose anger, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone."
I can see where if people were insecure, I guess you'd be scared by it. But it's so much easier to just celebrate it and just thank the universe for giving us people of color.
Ellen's feud with Denzel left a sour impression on fans, with many questioning her professionalism and attitude. Meanwhile, Denzel Washington's reputation remains intact. The whole episode is a testament to the fact that respect on and off set is key, regardless of one's star power. And then there's Quentin Tarantino.
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Quentin, what's the problem with you? What's wrong with you? Why have you not ever written a film for Denzel?
I haven't been that lucky.
In the mid-1990s, Quentin Tarantino was Hollywood's favorite provocateur, shaking up the industry with films like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Known for his sharp dialogue and and bold storytelling, he was in high demand not just for his own projects, but as a script doctor. If a movie needed extra flair, Tarantino was the guy to call. But when he joined Tony Scott's Crimson Tide, his sharp tongue and polarizing ideas didn't sit well with everyone, especially Denzel Washington. Their clash on the Crimson Tide set became the stuff of Hollywood legend, and while Washington has publicly claimed they buried the hatchet years later, some believe Tarantino still harbors resentment over what went down. You see, Crimson Tide is a tense 1995 action thriller about a nuclear standoff featuring powerhouse performances by Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. Hackman plays Captain Ramsey, a traditionalist Navy officer, while Washington's lieutenant. Commander Ron Hunter is the modern, level-headed counterpoint. Their constant power struggle on a submarine during a potential nuclear crisis makes for an electrifying drama. But what really spices up the dialogue, the unmistakable imprint of Quentin Tarantino. Brought on to punch up the script, he added his signature flavor to several scenes. One particularly memorable exchange involves Washington breaking up a fight between two sailors over, wait for it, a comic book debate. They were arguing about which artist drew the real Silver Surfer, Washington's character deadpans, before shutting down the fight with a quip. Everybody who reads comic books knows the Kirby Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer. Am I right or wrong? For fans of Tarantino, it's a classic moment of his pop culture-infused banter, but not every scene he added had such a lighthearted tone, and one, in particular, sparked controversy. Toward the movie's climax, Hackman's Captain Ramsey delivers a pointed monologue about Lipizzaner stallions, emphasizing that these prized horses are always white. Washington's Hunter fires back with, "They're actually born black." While the scene doesn't explicitly address race, the subtext is impossible to ignore. The moment oozes with Tarantino's penchant for stirring the pot, blending historical trivia with a deeper, uncomfortable edge. This wasn't just another script addition for Washington, though. It reportedly hit a nerve. According to a 1995 Premiere magazine article, Washington confronted Tarantino on set about the racially charged elements of the dialogue, as well as Tarantino's notorious use of the N-word in his other scripts. When Tarantino suggested they discuss it privately, Washington refused. "No," he allegedly said, "if we're going to discuss it, let's discuss it now." The confrontation was reportedly intense enough to sour their relationship for years. For Tarantino, this kind of controversy wasn't new. His scripts, from Reservoir Dogs to Pulp Fiction, often included racial slurs and provocative language, which he defended as being authentic to his characters. But Washington wasn't interested in excuses. As one of Hollywood's most respected black actors, he wasn't going to let the issue slide. The fallout wasn't just a temporary spat. It became a long-standing feud. Washington, known for choosing his collaborators carefully, never worked with Tarantino again. And while Tarantino continued to court controversy with films like Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight, Washington's absence from his projects was noticeable.
Nah, he's never hired me.
Quentin,
he's never hired me.
By 2012, the story took an unexpected turn when Washington's daughter, Katia, worked as an editorial production assistant on Tarantino's Django Unchained. When asked about it during an interview with GQ, Washington acknowledged the irony. "Isn't that interesting how life goes?" he said, before revealing that he had already apologized to Tarantino a decade earlier. "I sought him out 10 years ago," Washington explained. "I told him, look, I apologize. You've just got to let that go. You gonna walk around with that the rest of your life?" He seemed relieved. On the surface, it sounded like a mature resolution, but some fans aren't convinced. Despite Washington's apology, Tarantino has never publicly commented on their falling out or the supposed reconciliation. And if you look at his career, he's worked with plenty of A-list stars. But Washington's name is notably absent. Given Tarantino's famously stubborn nature, some believe he hasn't let the issue go. After all, this is the director who's unapologetically defended every creative choice he's made, no matter how divisive. Tarantino thrives on controversy, and it's not hard to imagine him viewing Washington's public confrontation as a personal slight. Moving on, we have Chris Rock. The 2022 Oscars slap incident left Hollywood shaken and sparked numerous controversies. But what it also did was shed light on an underlying tension between two industry titans, Denzel Washington and Chris Rock.
It still hurts, but I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No. I love Will Smith. I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life.
While Denzel has a reputation as a Hollywood statesman full of wisdom and grace, Rock's comedy often thrives on controversy and sharp wit. Their contrasting personas clashed in a way that many believe goes beyond just one night. On that infamous Oscars night, Will Smith shocked the world when he slapped Chris Rock on stage for a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. The aftermath was chaotic, with Smith visibly emotional and Rock stunned yet composed. During the commercial break, Denzel Washington stepped in to counsel Smith, reportedly delivering the now famous line, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you."
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you."
Denzel's intervention was widely praised, but it may have added another layer to his already strained relationship with Chris Rock. While Washington extended his support to Smith and even prayed with him backstage, Rock appeared to be left out of that moment of solace. To many, this raised eyebrows. Why didn't Washington, the supposed peacemaker, also comfort Rock? Washington's response to the Oscars slap, where he seemed more focused on supporting Will Smith than addressing Rock's plight, hinted at an unspoken tension. Some believe Washington's actions implied he aligned more with Smith than Rock, possibly because of a past friction between the two. The feud, or perceived feud, between Washington and Rock might stem from their fundamentally different approaches to life and art. Denzel, often regarded as Hollywood's moral compass, has built a career on dignity and gravitas. His choice of roles and public persona reflect a deep sense of responsibility and purpose. Rock, on the other hand, thrives on irreverence. His comedy pushes boundaries, often crossing lines that others wouldn't dare approach.
Like, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light-skin lottery? Acting all dumb like she don't know nothing. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
This willingness to court controversy might not sit well with Washington, who values decorum and respect above all. The two also diverge on how they navigate the racial politics of Hollywood. Rock's comedy often critiques systemic racism head-on, using satire to expose uncomfortable truths. Washington, while not shying away from addressing race, tends to take a more measured and diplomatic approach, focusing on representation through his work rather than direct confrontation. Despite no overt blowouts, the tension between Denzel Washington and Chris Rock seems to persist. Their Oscars night dynamic, Washington stepping in as a mentor to Smith while Rock stood alone, reinforced the idea that the two don't see eye to eye. Some fans have speculated that Rock might harbor resentment toward Washington for not publicly supporting him after the slap. Others believe Washington sees Rock's humor as abrasive and disrespectful, clashing with his own values. Anyway, what about Tyler Perry? When you think of Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington, you might imagine two prominent black figures in Hollywood supporting each other's endeavors. But surprisingly, their relationship has been marked by tension. Despite praying together on public stages, their differences, both personal and professional, have fueled speculation about a quiet feud between the two. Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington represent two distinct worlds of storytelling. Perry has built his empire on relatable, melodramatic tales, often featuring his iconic character, Medea. The wig-wearing, wisecracking matriarch has become a cultural staple for many, but Perry's work hasn't come without criticism.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
Denzel, known for his serious, principle-driven approach to acting and filmmaking, reportedly looks down on Perry's style of entertainment. To Denzel, Perry's work is often seen as reinforcing negative stereotypes, something he refuses to align himself with. In Hollywood, it's well known that Denzel will likely never appear in a Tyler Perry production. Why? Because Denzel, a two-time Academy Award winner, values projects that elevate Black narratives in ways he believes are dignified and transformative. Perry, on the other hand, has faced accusations of selling buffoonery, a criticism that has haunted his career despite his massive financial success. One of the most glaring points of contention lies in Perry's 2010 adaptation of Four Colored Girls, based on the historic 1975 choreo poem by Ntozake Shange. The original play is celebrated for its poetic monologues and nuanced portrayal of Black women's struggles. However, Perry's film adaptation received backlash for its heavy-handed storytelling and melodrama. melodrama. Many fans and critics felt Perry had mishandled a cornerstone of black art, turning a cultural treasure into yet another example of his polarizing style. Denzel, while not publicly commenting on this film, is rumored to share the sentiment that Perry's work too often dilutes the power of black storytelling. To Denzel, every project is an opportunity to challenge stereotypes and raise the bar for black cinema, an ethos that seems diametrically opposed to Perry's commercially driven approach. Adding fuel to the fire, filmmaker Spike Lee has also been a vocal critic of Tyler Perry's work. He described some of Perry's productions as buffoonery, sparking a broader debate about responsibility in black storytelling.
But I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery, buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
While Perry's fans argue that his movies reflect real-life experiences and struggles, his detractors, including those in Denzel's camp, feel that his films often pander to harmful tropes for the sake of laughs and ticket sales. Denzel's alleged disdain for Perry may also stem from his alignment with Lee's philosophy. Both Denzel and Lee have a long-standing professional relationship, collaborating on films like Malcolm X. Their shared vision for art as a tool for societal progress likely makes Perry's brand of comedy drama seem at best misguided and at worst damaging. Tyler Perry hasn't stayed silent amid the criticisms. During an interview on Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, Perry addressed the backlash, claiming that much of it stems from classism within the black community. According to Perry, his stories resonate with millions because they're inspired by real people he grew up with, people whose stories deserve to be told, even if they don't fit into highbrow narratives. There's a certain part of our society, especially black people, that look down on certain things within the culture, Perry said. He emphasized that his work reflects his personal experiences and the lives of people he knew, arguing that dismissing his movies is akin to erasing those stories altogether. The tension between Perry and Washington has also sparked debates among fans. Some agree with Denzel, believing Perry's work perpetuates stereotypes and lowers the standard for black cinema. Others defend Perry, seeing his movies as heartfelt expressions of his upbringing and community. One fan put it this way: Tyler's movies aren't perfect, but they resonate with people who see themselves in those characters. Not everyone grew up in a Spike Lee movie or a Denzel drama. Perry's work is his way of telling his truth. And then there is Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey and Denzel Washington are two legendary names, but they seem to have very different approaches to life and success, which might explain why Steve allegedly has issues with Denzel. Steve has built his career on comedy, TV hosting, and his brand as a relationship guru, but some say his rise hasn't been as wholesome as it appears. Denzel, on the other hand, is respected for his work ethic, humility, and dedication to his family. These differences could explain the tension between them. For starters, Steve's career is marked by allegations of dishonesty and exploitation. Comedian Mark Curry accused him of stealing jokes, revealing that Steve performed an entire Halloween routine on his show that Curry claims was based on his own experiences. Curry said, "He did my whole Halloween run, and I know he didn't think of it. That was true stuff that really happened to me." Allegations like these tarnish Steve's image as a self-made star. Now, in case you were wondering, here's the joke Curry was talking about.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween. I'm gonna send us down to the liquor store, put boxes on it. I think we UPS, I guess. I don't know.
And here's Steve's version.
You've heard me say that every Halloween I had the same outfit. I just had a brown box, and he just told me to tell everybody I was a UPS man.
Now, to make matters worse, Curry alleged that Steve allegedly stole his comedic material not just once, but twice.
The thing with Steve Harvey is that he used my material on both his platforms.
Yeah.
After I talked to him, I saw him at Def Jam, I went up and talked to him, I said, "Man, you're using my material."
Denzel, however, has always taken a different route. His focus has been on self-improvement, hard work, and integrity. While Steve has been accused of taking shortcuts, Denzel has built his reputation on discipline and commitment. This stark contrast might be why Denzel has seemingly thrown subtle shade at Steve over the years. Denzel's speeches often emphasize the importance of being a responsible father and husband, which some see as indirect criticism of Steve. During one of his speeches, Denzel said, "We have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers." These words hit differently when you consider Steve's history. Steve's marriage to Marjorie Harvey began with controversy, as Marjorie was allegedly his mistress while he was still married to his ex-wife, Mary Lee Harvey. Reports even suggest that Marjorie helped Steve with legal matters during his divorce before they tied the knot. On the other hand, Denzel's personal life is a testament to stability and commitment. He has been married to Pauletta Washington for over 40 years and often credits her for his success. During a heartfelt speech, Denzel shared, 40 years of sacrifice, 40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love, real love. These words contrast sharply with Steve's reputation for skirt chasing and marital drama. Denzel has also criticized what he sees as a lack of accountability in raising children. He stated, "It starts at home. If a young man doesn't have a father figure, he'll go find one. You can't blame the system." Some believe these comments are a dig at Steve, whose children have dealt with the fallout from his tumultuous personal life. Steve himself admitted in an interview that Denzel once gave him a reality check about their careers, highlighting the different levels of effort required to see their work. During an interview on Club Shay Shay, Steve Harvey shared a story about a big lesson he learned from Denzel Washington. It all happened at a Los Angeles restaurant during Oscar season when Denzel decided to explain the huge difference between being a movie star and a TV personality.
People would come up, "Oh my God, Mr. Washington. Oh my God, Mr. Washington. I watch every movie, I go everywhere. Thank you so much, because it's so great sometimes." And just treat them with reverence. He said, watch how they come up to you when they know you. As soon as they see me, "Mr. Washington, oh my God, Steve, what's up?"
Denzel, in all his movie star glory, broke it down like this. "To come see me, you gotta get a babysitter. Get in your car, stand in line, buy a ticket, stand in another line, get your popcorn and stuff, go to a seat, wait, and I come up on the screen 25 feet tall. Then they leave and they don't see me no more unless they come to another movie. I'm a movie star." On the other hand, Steve's connection with his fans is totally different. Denzel explained, "They invite you to their house every day. They think you're a relative. Don't nobody have nobody come to their house unless they like them. They invite you in their house, then they're making sandwiches, sitting in their drawers, watching you. You're a relative to them." Denzel's explanation highlighted how people see movie stars as larger-than-life figures because of the separation between their on-screen and real-life personas. TV stars, however, become part of viewers' everyday lives, which can make fans feel closer to them, but sometimes a little too close.
You see the difference? He said, the difference is I'm a movie star, you a TV star. They got to pay to come see me. They invite you to their house every day.
Denzel's reputation isn't just about being a top-notch actor. Fans admire him for staying grounded despite his success. Over the years, he's made it clear that he doesn't buy into the stereotypical celebrity attitude. Back in 2016, during a Hollywood Reporter-Directors Roundtable, Denzel got real about how people romanticize making movies. He said, "People talk about the difficulty of making a movie, and I'm like, send your son to Iraq, that's difficult." This blunt statement stood out in a conversation with fellow filmmakers like Mel Gibson and Barry Jenkins, reminding everyone that real struggles exist far from Hollywood sets. Denzel also shared his humble beginnings, working as a garbage man and a postman, and how those experiences keep him grounded. While some actors hype up the challenges of movie making, Denzel refuses to compare it to the real-life struggles many people face. To him, being in the film industry is a privilege, not a burden. He summed it up perfectly when he said making movies isn't a life or death challenge, but rather a gift and an opportunity. That attitude of gratitude is why Denzel stands apart in Hollywood. He's all about authenticity, not putting on airs. In a 1996 appearance on The Oprah Show, Denzel revealed he never sought fame, only excellence in his craft, which surprised both Oprah and her audience. He later told Kelly and Ryan, "I don't even know what Hollywood is. It's a place where they have those little stars on the ground and people go there and take pictures." Denzel has been open about keeping his circle small, saying he doesn't have many celebrity friends. He once told The Guardian, "I don't have any actor friends. My friends are old friends, an ex-music guy, a restaurant owner, and an ex-pro ball player." He explained it's partly because he doesn't believe in schmoozing or attending parties just to get jobs. Even when this comment stirred controversy, one of Denzel's PR reps clarified that he did mention friendships with actors like Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts, but those parts were cut from the article. Meanwhile, Steve Harvey takes a different view of fame. In a 2016 episode of Family Feud, he shared his own challenges with being famous, comparing it to living in a big pretty prison.
Fame is different than what people think. Being famous is like living in a big, pretty prison.
Steve described how fame makes even simple things, like going to the movies or an amusement park, nearly impossible. He talked about how his mansion became his escape, saying, "You gotta buy all that stuff. Your house gotta be big. Whatever you'd like to do, you gotta have in your backyard." In a 2019 interview with the Sunday Times, Steve called fame an ugly business, with almost no upsides. He shared that when he took his grandkids to see Aladdin, he bought out the whole theater just to have privacy. At the same time, he acknowledged emotional moments, like when people recognized him in Cannes and played the Family Feud theme song. Well, despite the hate, Denzel's legacy continues to inspire millions. His grounded approach to fame, his commitment to family, and his refusal to let Hollywood define him are why fans adore him. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.